Hello, hello. I'm only 2 minutes late to my own stream that I decided to make. Um, I am, let's see, I'm trying to put images up of Cecil, the caterpillar cake, and Cecily, which is a girl version of Cecil. I couldn't find any good high-res pictures of Cecily, so we're just gonna have to guess what her mouth looks like. But I think she has the same face as Cecil, because the cheeks look very similar, but her eyes are like sparkly and different. So we'll put Cecil up here, and we'll put Cecily below. Let me get that picture of her. I think it would be cute to do two together, posed together in the cartoon forms. The boxes will be individual like they were for the other ones, but hello, hello. How are we doing this beautiful weekend? See, here's Cecily. I like that her box is different too, with like little stars, and the actual sprinkles are different. Now Cecil, Cecil for the American pronunciation, but since it's a UK cake, I'll say Cecil. Cecil apparently ranks higher than Colin in taste tests, and Colin was like the OG caterpillar cake. So I guess Cecil's better, even though he's technically a knockoff of Colin. I wouldn't know. I haven't tasted any of them. But apparently the consensus is that he's the best tasting caterpillar cake of all the supermarket ones. So I think there was... Oh yeah. Here's a closer lookup of Cecil's face. Very similar to Colin's. I think it's the same white chocolate face, basically. We'll move this here and then see if we can't put this on top. Let's see. Order... Move to top. Oh. Is it going to freeze my stream? No, okay, cool. And then we'll move the face here, just so we get a visual on what's going on. I don't want to block my face. That's important. Kind of. We'll move this over here. We have this space over here with like a little border. That's good enough. I think that's good enough visual to see what we're doing. And still have room for drawings. Okay. So, if you recall, 2 weeks ago now, not last week, because I took last week off so I could get work done, and a lot of that work is done, but not all of it. Anyway, I did Colin, the caterpillar cake, I did Letty, the caterpillar cake, and I did Slinky. So this week I'm doing Cecil and Cecily in the same angle of the boxes and all that. So let's move that here. And then let me pull up the reference on my end bigger so I can see what I'm doing here. Let's do Cecil first. In the brown and polka dot box. Alright, let's open that up. Gotta see his cute face. Now I want to see how different it is from how I did Colin. He has like the little bump on his nose, he has the tongue sticking out. It's very similar because he is a knockoff at the end of the day, but let's lower the opacity of Colin because I want to keep one of the characters somewhat visible so I'm not drawing the antenna the same way. They're kind of a different angle. I want them to look a little different from each other. Whoops, wrong brush. Off to a good start. Let's do dry ink as usual. And I know I had that box on another layer, but I kind of want to make sure it's the same angle as an existing box, so I'm just going to kind of trace over this one. I think that'll work. Shoot. There we go. It's not a perfect trace, but that's okay. Though these boxes have less fun stuff going on the sides of them compared to Colin with this cute little caterpillar version of himself chewing through the box. So I will say the packaging is nicer, but I do like that there's like a clear window where they're peeking over the top, so I don't have to have this thing where like they're chewing through the box on this one. I'm just gonna lower the window, so let's say we'll make it like here, I think, so that we can see, maybe even lower, because I want to see some of the corners of the mouth peeking out over the top. So we'll make it a little bit lower than it is in real life, just so we get more of the smile peeking out. And I'll use this template for Cecil and Cecily so that their boxes are similar shapes and everything. Similar design. Just one's got stars and one's got polka dots. So we'll do that. Hello, how are we doing? I'm not expecting 1 million people to show up. They never do, but sometimes I get like 10 viewers or whatever when I actually like consistently stream. But I keep taking like every other week off. That's alright. I've been busy, which is good. Good and bad. I keep saying yes to every single project. Listen, I need money for my next adventure. Alright, I think that looks... maybe this can be in a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly even on both sides, but now that looks too thick. One more try. That looks about right. Okay, I think that's a good amount of room for the caterpillar cakes. Let's sketch on top of this real quick. Let's figure out Cecil and Cecily's box. Let's hide this for right now. Reduce opacity. Then Cecil's details are spots everywhere. We'll put just his name at the top. We'll keep it really simple. Cecil. There we go. Oh, and there's like an extra green stripe. Is that on the front too? Yeah. Maybe I should refine the box here. Needs one more stripe. I just noticed that. There's like a thinner stripe here. That's on both of the boxes. We'll do that. Oops. See what I'm doing. There we go. I have a sneeze brewing. I'm trying not to let it escape. They say looking at bright light stops it. I'm staring right at the ring light. I don't know. I've definitely sneezed staring right at a bright light because of that urban legend. I just don't think it's true. At least I don't sneeze about 30 times in a row like I used to when I was a kid. Those were not fun times. Hay fever or what, I don't know what it was, but sneezed about 30-40 times in a row. Alright, Cecil, and then what else is on his box? We've got spots everywhere, and that's kind of the main decor of the Cecil box. And we can be kind of minimal and sporadic with it. It doesn't have to exactly match, but I'm gonna kind of match. I want them all to be the same, like, angle. So I'll just take one spot and copy paste it, because I think, yeah, they're all the same size. Hello, hello, how are we doing? They're not going to exactly match what's on the box, but it'll be close-ish. Some cut off, some fully on the box, kind of alternating. Do a couple that are a little bit closer together, a little more crowded. Like here. Do one down here. You're good, how are you? I am great. I'm having a nice weekend so far. Well, I've been working today, but still, nice weekend. It's weird not having a real weekend. Like, some weekends I'll work 10 hours a day and then take Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. You know, it's just the weekend is whenever I feel like it's the weekend. The upside and downside of being your own boss. Weekends are completely meaningless. And then I always promise clients updates on Mondays or Tuesdays, so I end up working Friday through Sunday and stuff. oh yeah, I'll get it to you Monday. And I think that seems so far away. Cut to Sunday night. Whoops. Alright, and then we'll erase the extras. I would like to do at least one of these in color today, so I'm hoping I can get the black and white sketches of Cecil and Cecily done and then work on maybe the color of Slinky, the first one I did. The Tesco cake. That's my mate Slinky. So I'd like to do some color of him. You felt that? Do you also have no set schedule for weekends in your life? Freelancers, students, and others who have the same dilemma of like not really knowing what day of week it is. I guess in school it kind of matters, depending on, I don't know. I purposefully made my college schedule as like loose as possible. It's like, okay, your first class doesn't start till 1 p.m. And it never felt like a weekday. I would space out my classes. There's no, I did an 8 a.m. class I think one time. And it was like never again. Absolutely not. I think that's about the right angle for the spot, so we'll just do the same thing we did on the top, duplicating the spot, kind of randomizing where it is, making it not too uniform. A little here. Let's see. Your job sometimes gives you a shift on certain weekend days. It's all over the place. Oh, yeah. Ooh, sorry, I did not mean to ding that metal straw in my cup. Yeah, that's a lot of jobs. They'll just like schedule you completely randomly, huh? You don't even know what your schedule is until the last minute. Weekdays and weekends are completely meaningless in a lot of jobs, I guess. It's only the lucky few with a solid 9 to 5 that actually have any semblance of structure then. Because it certainly isn't me. I couldn't even tell you what day of the week it is most days. I thought today was Friday when I woke up, so. We'll do a dot here. One here. I'm just going to freehand these. Because I don't think it matters if they're perfect. They just roughly look the same size as the spots on the rest of the box. And then I'd probably be redoing this when I do the color art anyway, so not too fussed about it. A little bit cut off over here, and then a little bit cut off over here. That looks about right. And then there's also his name on the bottom, so I'll do that here as well. Cecil. Girl, today is Friday. Oh, it is? Whoops. I think I meant to say Thursday. And then it came out as Friday. But I like that better. That I thought it was Friday and it was. But hey, I made it to stream on time, so I couldn't have been that confused. I think I just said Thursday. Or I meant Thursday and said Friday. I can't speak today either. What is going on? Believe it or not, I have used my brain a lot today, so. Used up all my brain power before 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. You're good. If that's not definitive proof, I have no idea what day it is ever. I don't know what is. Alright. Let's do the stars and stuff on the Cecily box, the girl Cecil box. Because that one's cuter. It's got polka dots and stars. I think maybe we'll keep some of the polka dots from Cecil and then just replace some of the others with the little bubbly. Oh, they're flowers. They're not stars. Whatever. Are they? No, they're flowers. Okay, cute. Let's just duplicate Cecil then. Cecil's layer. And then we'll tack a Y on and we'll remove some of the spots. Cecily. There we go. Genius. This probably is like a limited edition cake or something because I could not find any good high resolution photos of Cecily. Only of Cecil. So that was a little frustrating, but we'll make do. We'll replace... I'll make it like messy so I know where to put a flower. I'll leave a little bit behind. We'll make that one a flower. We'll kind of alternate it a little bit. We'll do maybe 2 flowers close-ish to each other here and here. We'll do one here. We'll do one over here. Where did you find out about these? They look so silly and cute. I found out about them seeing them in person in the UK. They're a UK thing. All the major supermarkets have their own caterpillar cake. I think Marks and Spencer, the Colin one, is like the original, I think. And then the rest of the supermarket chains, Aldi and Tesco, and everybody wanted in on the caterpillar cake, so they made their own, like, off-brand versions. And the best, apparently the best off-brand one is this one, Cecil. Apparently it's best tasting in the, like, blind taste tests that I was reading to get a list of the caterpillar cakes. I have a photo I took of Slinky when I first got to London. One of the first things I did was go to Tesco just to pick up some snacks because I was staying at a hostel and I wanted food and snacks. So I go to Tesco and I see the man himself, Slinky, on the shelf, and I was just enchanted by him. I took a picture of him and I got a bunch of photos printed. So my photo album for my UK trip, the front photo of it, like the cover of the photo album, is a picture of Slinky. It is silly. I love it. It's a very goofy UK thing. They're so cute. I'm obsessed with them. Okay, we'll turn all these circles into poofy little flowers now. This is like the Cecil family has cousins. Yeah, I don't know who's related to who. In the caterpillar family trees. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know if Cecil and Cecily are siblings, married, friends. I think I just want to have them like talking to each other and hanging out. I don't know if they're meant to be a couple or not. I don't want to draw them like holding hands and then I find out that canonically they're like brother and sister or something. Like, I don't know. We're just gonna have them hanging out together because I think it would be fun to draw a duo of caterpillars. I don't know if there is lore for any of the cakes. Like, I don't think there's an established lore. I think it's just, hey, let's make an off-brand of Colin the Caterpillar cake. Let's do a girl version. Okay, I think that was the beginning and end of the thought process. I don't think there's any deep lore. I could be wrong. Maybe there's an animated series I'm missing out on. Does this imply the existence of different bug cakes in their universe, butterfly cakes in their universe, in the UK cinematic universe? I love the joke of talking about British people as if, like, I have headcanons for them, like they're not real people. Because, low-key, it's kind of true. Like, it's not a real place. When you hear them speak in real life, when you hear British kids speak in real life, it's like, that's not real. Like, that was invented for the Harry Potter movies. Like, you have to be serious. Like, kids don't talk like that. Wholly unserious people. So I will headcanon the British universe. And yes, they do. They should and do have butterfly cakes, ladybug cakes, etc. Cocoon cakes. Maybe a cocoon that you, like, smash open. It's like a hard chocolate shell and you break it open and there's, like, a caterpillar inside. I think that'd be cute. Like a candy piñata of sorts. The funniest thing in the world is, like, Scottish kids talking, I think. And Liverpool, like, Scouse kids. Like, this isn't real. This is a cartoon. So cute, so funny. To hear a 5-year-old say I instead of yeah, so cute. Cecily. I guess let's draw Cecil first. Let's put him in his box. Let's put him in his little spot here. The cocoon idea. Yeah, with a little, you could get a little, like, a hammer or something and, like, break it open. I think that would be fun. I think it would be fun for a birthday party. And you wouldn't know what the caterpillar looks like until you open it, and there's, like, different colors. Like a surprise box, but for cake. But then you get people getting mad that they didn't get the color they want for cake. So there's got to be some kind of clue. It can't be a blind box cake. I think people would get too irritated. Because their kid's going to throw a tantrum if they got green and they wanted blue or whatever. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good idea. Are the boxes their cocoons? Whoa. I think you might be onto something. Whoa. Dude. The boxes are the cocoons. Okay, where's the high resolution picture? There he is. There's the man himself. I was trying to find this picture on my desktop to get the high res of his face. Because she's got the same face. Like, let's be real. They're not doing a custom mold for the face. They're just swapping out the eyes and calling it a whole different cake. Well, I guess they gave her different sprinkles, but anyway. Right. So we want his smile peeking up over the top of the bottom of the little box here. This is going to be a real rough sketch. While I figure it out. Yo, that just blew my mind. The boxes are the cocoons. Whoa. We need to stop before we give the UK Universe creators ideas. Yeah, they need like Caterpillar Cake, Butterfly Cake DLC in the next patch. Is it a game or a movie series? I don't know. It's an entire universe, a franchise. It's like Star Wars. It's like 20 different spin-off shows, movies, games, toys. In the make-believe world of the United Kingdom. Just completely made up. I was watching Taskmaster earlier, which is a show that I've seen many clips of and have never sat and watched. Very entertaining. And further proof that British people are not real. It's a ridiculous game show where all the tasks are completely trivial and silly, and the goal is to do it probably in the silliest way. I feel like Taskmaster... Did they do an American spin-off of that show ever? Because I feel like people would hate it because, like, American game shows are very competitive. And they'd get mad about the arbitrary point system being based on, like, how funny you did something. I mean, I know they have comedians on the show and not, like, random game show contestants that are hungry for money. So I guess it wouldn't matter to have an American spin-off. But I don't think it would be as funny. People would be, like, mad that they weren't scored fairly or something and get real worked up about it. It's like, no, it's like how you do something. But further proof that they're not real people, the game shows never have prizes. It's always like a pair of socks, or what at Great British Bake Off they give them like a spatula or some stupid prize that's not money or anything. That's not gonna fly in America. Hello. Imagine it's a cartoon show, but it could have other media. The faces remind me of the Cootie brand games for kids. Oh, yeah, a cartoon show of the Caterpillars would be great. I thought you meant, like, the British universe. Like, the concept of the UK existing as, like, media and not a real place. But definitely one of the shows in that universe would be the Caterpillar Cake Show. I feel like it would be animated like, the Gummy Bears cartoon. If anybody's seen that. 80s and very Disney and bouncy. I think it would be really cute. It can be both. That's true. It could be both. Cootie branded games for kids. You think they have board games and stuff too? I'd play a Caterpillar Cake board game. Alright, the eyes look terrifying in the sketch right now. I promise they'll, like, look less terrifying. I think it's just because of all the texture in the eyes, where it should be, like, smooth. I'm thinking too much with these strokes and not just doing the strokes. It kind of looks like, the face right now looks like, the baby dinosaur from Dinosaurs. Right, the rest of his head is kind of bigger. We'll do, like, this little nose bump to make him a little cuter. And then he has a big fat antenna over here. It kind of lands in the middle of his brow here. And then the other one kind of spins off from that. I think that, yeah, that would fit just inside the top of the box there. This one's a little bit lower than the other one. So I think that works. I have to look up to make sure that you guys can see what I'm drawing, because I have like half the screen covered with photos. Alright. And I was looking, and I think, sorry for the brain just like shutting off there. I was looking, I think he has the same pattern of candies as Colin, where it's like the 3 in a row, and there's like, I think 5 sections, so I think I might just copy. Though Colin, I have it kind of swirling up. These ones are more like straight, I think. So we'll do the same amount of sections. We'll do like 4 visible sections. Keep it simplified. Because you can't see the shoes or any of that kind of detail inside the box anyway, so I think it's okay. So we'll do again candies. Candies. Like this. What are we doing? That's a great question. I am doing cartoon versions, both that look like the real life caterpillar cakes, as you see in the photos on screen, and also like cartoony versions that, you know, the guy behind there, for example, like character versions of the caterpillar cakes. These are based on cakes that are found all over the UK in various stores that I thought were adorable when I saw them on my trip. So I decided to draw a bunch of them. That is what we're doing. Let me see this message I forgot to read fully. The Cootie brand games IRL, their mascot is a caterpillar, very similar faces to these cakes. The brand also made... Oh, Don't Break the Ice. I played that one. Don't Spill the Beans, Ants in the Pants. I can see that already in my mind's eye, the art being similar. Let me look up. I think I know what you're talking about with the Cooties game. Yeah, really cute with the big thick antenna too. Cute. I didn't own that one. I definitely had Don't Break the Ice, or a knockoff of it. You're always drawing characters from kids' cartoons. You think about coming up with your own idea for an animated pilot for a show? Nah, I'm not much of a writer. I'll leave that to writers. I'm a drawer of cute pictures. I've had people ask me too, like, well, why don't you make your own kids' books? Because I do art for like self-published kids' books. It's because I don't have I have a very loose idea for a story in mind that I have as a note on my phone. Maybe I'll sit and write it one of these days and then pay an editor to look it over or whatever, but I'll keep it close to myself because every time I say I'm going to do stuff, it never happens. Like, every time I say, like, I'm going to get regular at streaming, I take a week or 2 off, so I can't verbalize it. I have to just keep it inside and actually execute on it and do it. So every time I announce I'm doing something, it's not happening. I've learned this about myself. You had Don't Break the Ice and Don't Spill the Beans. I don't think I've owned the Cootie one, but the cakes instantly made me think of the face on the box. I see why you thought that. It's really cute. A good stylistic match for these. And they could definitely have a similar game. What was the anxiety-inducing one with where you had to put the shapes in the holes before it popped out? I can't remember. I think it was called like Frustration or something, right? Something like that. Something very obvious. I should have just called it Anxiety. Somebody will know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. Love your work so far. Thank you. You remember that? What was it called? I had Mousetrap, though, like most kids, I never played the actual game, I think, a day in my life, and I would just build the Mousetrap contraption and play with it and then put it all away in the box. I don't think I ever actually played a legitimate game of Mousetrap or know how it's played, to be honest. You definitely had Don't Break the Ice. Yeah, I remember the little hammers and the ice cubes. Alright, I think that's a good enough layer of candies. And then he's got like 3 stripes of white chocolate on each section. It looks like there's like one going through the candies, one before and one after, so we'll do something like that. After I went and erased the lines. I think that works for the decor. He's very simple. He's a simple kind of man. And then here's the lines of the actual segments where they like dip in to the body, if that makes sense. So that's about right for Cecil. Perfection. That was it. We really only did build it. Yeah, we never played the actual game. How do you even play? Literally, I have no idea. We'll use Cecil as a guide for Cecily, because she's basically the same except she's got star or flower. I guess they'd be flowers, huh? Flower confetti, not confetti, sprinkles. Yeah, they're little tiny flowers all over her. I'm pretty sure that's the only shape of sprinkle she has. Let me double check. I have a very low res image of her that I have to zoom in on. Yeah, it's just a pile of white and purple flower sprinkles, but basically the same amount of stripes. Ooh, does Cecil have segments, or is it just like one big log? Oh, it is segments, but it's like in the frosting. It's like, okay. It's like, I didn't do that wrong, did I? Because Cecily, her body looks like one smooth cake. I don't know. Am I crazy? Because this looks like... Does this not look like one smooth, like, sectionless log of cake? Maybe her body is different than Cecil's. Let me put her back down here. And then Cecil, maybe not in this picture, but in this picture there's segments between. See, there's like chunks. So maybe I'll do Cecily smooth. Or maybe I'll make her sections like not as pronounced or something. I don't know. I'll make her smooth. It's fine. What if you did one stream where it's nothing but requests for classic music album covers? I don't know. I'm a cartoonist. I don't know if that would be something I could do. Stock reminds me of Elefun. Elefun was a good game. Oh, was that the one with the butterfly net? Because that was cute. That was a lot of fun. All right, Cecily, we will keep smooth. I'm gonna reduce the opacity even more. We'll turn on her box here. She's got the same antenna, head shape, and all that, but the eyes are different and the sprinkles are different. So we are just gonna quickly trace the shared traits. Cecily. Yes, the butterfly nut. It was cute. There were a lot of like board games, or I don't know what you'd call it, just games, where it was like fun with little props and toys like that. There probably still is. I haven't been a kid in a while, so I don't know what's out there for like games. But I feel like it's moved to like toys, animal toys and things like that. But maybe that's just what my niece is into, is like animal toys that make noise and not so much games. But I don't know. I am not a kid, so I don't know what's hip and happening with the kids anymore. Now her eyes are kind of funny because she has these white eyes that are the same size as Cecil's, but the actual eye design is inside the eye, like the pupil has eyelashes. I'm gonna copy that here for the sake of making it look like the actual cake, but on her character I'm not going to do that because that's bizarre. But it is how the cake looks, so I'm going to do it. She's got a pupil and then she has little eyelashes inside the sclera, the whites of her eyes. I guess the whites are supposed to be interpreted as like invisible and like blending in with the white chocolate, I think is my best guess, because it's just cheaper to do. Okay, we have the same shape of like button white chocolate or whatever that goes on the eyes. We're just gonna put a different eye design on it. It's probably like sugar paper or something. Like manufacturing wise, I get why they did it, but if you think about it, it's distressing. What shirt are you wearing? It's when I thrifted, it says like Lakeshore Baseball League something. I don't know. And it's got like a baseball on it. I just like that it was gray with forest green and it's got a bunch of Chicago text on the back. And then I've got a cardigan on top because it was very cold in my room. Though it's not anymore. What skirt am I wearing? I'm not wearing a skirt. I am wearing pajama pants. I am wearing brown pajama pants. But that's the fit for the day. That's the fit check. And then in my hair, I am wearing a hair clip because I could not be bothered to style my hair. So that's that. That's the full fit check. And the same glasses I wear every day. Now, you know what? I am overdue for a pair of sunglasses. I need to go get a new pair because summer is right on our doorstep. It keeps getting cool, so I have an excuse to put it off another couple weeks, but by the time it's hot enough, that I'll want, you know, sunglasses. I guess heat doesn't matter. It's about sunlight, and it has been sunny, but I don't know. It feels like a summer purchase, sunglasses. I have frames somewhere that I love, but I need my new prescription in them, so I'll dig them out of the drawer and figure it out. Or if I call the place, I'm sure they don't let you get your prescription info over the phone anymore. Well, I don't know if they ever did. But they make it such a pain in the butt where you have to come into the physical location or they have to snail mail you your prescription info. It's like, just text it to me. Just tell me what I need to order on these Zenni optical frames so I can get on with my life, you know? But I'll probably just go in because it's pretty close to here anyways. Go get my prescription info and go order myself some big frames. I like the real big, giant, like almost opaque where you can't even see your eyes. Like the 2000 sunglasses, I like those. Oh, why am I drawing the spots? Hello. I was just mindlessly tracing the spots. I will do the stripes, because it looks like the stripes are about the same in number, but I'm going to make them a little bit more crooked, because hers are a little bit more organic. It looks like they're not so evenly lined up with anything. So something like that for the chocolate stripes. Oh, no worries. Don't worry about it. I will do a bunch of little flower sprinkles, but I might not make them as small as in the actual photo, because that's just going to visually be kind of like whatever. I might even do a new layer real quick and just make it purple just so I can see a little better. It's not the right color purple, but that's okay. I'm going to freehand them and make them about... Let's do this big. Is that too big? No, that's about right. We'll just sprinkle these sprinkles all over the cake. That shows she does have sections, but it's connected by the icing. I did not see that. Ooh, where's that picture? What do I need to search to find that? Because I was searching Cecily cake, and I was not finding very many photos of her. Cecily caterpillar cake. I think I was typing in Cecily Waitrose cake, because that's the store that has her. In some photos, Cecil looks smooth too. So I guess I'll stylize her the same as Cecil, where she does have sections. I mean, she's gonna get cut into sections anyway, so I guess it's fine. Cecily caterpillar cake. I might just be getting different results than you, because it's like assuming I want to see the same pictures I already searched or something. Yeah, whatever. I'll give her sections too. Forget about it. The source is from LinkedIn. I think I'll leave her with this kind of white chocolate drizzle, and then I'll do some sections here. She'll have roughly 4 sections. Let me alpha lock and then color these white chocolate stripes white. What one was the actual section? Okay, we'll do that. That. I guess starting the coloring process a little early. Not really, I don't think I'll use these lines, but it's just for me to understand what I'm doing later. Something like that. Back to the little flower sprinkles. They're they're just covered in the icing so the icing connects it all. I see what you mean. She's a chunky and well-frosted lady. What do you mean? A beautiful girl. I can't believe I've spent almost an hour just doing Cecil and Cecily box sketches. I want to, in the next hour, do the character versions of them and start coloring Slinky. I think that's the goal. I think I can make that happen. We'll do a couple more of these just to fill out some of the space. But I don't want a million of them either. And remembering about half will be white and half will be purple. So that'll break it up a little bit too. I feel like there's a lack of them down here on the cake. Okay. I don't like how these are in like a perfect line kind of. They like need to be a little bit more askew than maybe one right here. There we go. Where's their secret third sibling named Cease and their partner Desist? I don't know. We could invent fan fiction characters for the British cinematic universe of caterpillars. We're gonna hide Cecil right now and put all of Cecily's layers in a group so I can move them around. Cecily. Hide this box. Oh, I need to duplicate this box and put it also in the group. There we go. Beautiful. There's Cecily on the move. Move her over here right now. And then Cecil will do the same thing. Stick all his layers in a... We'll just hide that. In a group. There we go. All right. Then what I want to do. Okay, duplicate, flatten. I just want these as reference. Ooh, didn't mean to do that. Sitting on the side while I draw their character versions. So we'll do the same here. Duplicate. First of all, let's bump up the opacity of these layers so I can actually see. Okay, and then flatten and hide that. Hide that. There we go, Cecil and Cecily. And then we'll sketch. I want them hanging out together, maybe a high five. I think that would be cute. Some kind of interaction. I think a high five would be fun. Because I like them on their back legs standing. I think it looks cute. Let me just figure out a pose before I get too in depth with it. A high five with the shoes, I think is cute. With the sneakers. You know, they're a team. I'll give them little stubby leggies. Like the body's quite a bit chubbier. Let's do 4 sections. I think that's plenty. Do a shoe hanging off this way. One, 2, 3, 4. That's a good amount of sections. And I kind of want to do the sneakers a little bit different on every caterpillar, but I guess it's okay if they have similar sneakers. They're all kind of knockoffs of Colin. And I'll have these 2 sneaker hands, like, clasped, I guess. Just so they're out of the way and not bumping into the shoes on the other caterpillar. It's a little silly, but I mean, how else do you do a high five with 6-legged shoe-wearing caterpillars? Let's do these antenna shapes. Just scribbling in rough shapes of things real quick. Let me get some of the other caterpillars visible so I can just see what I did. And what the heck was I doing with the shoes and stuff? Especially Colin, because he's the inspiration. Lower the opacity here. I know it's a jumbled mess visually with like the layers of sketches, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I think I want to make the shoes a little chubbier on these too. Give them like a fatter little tongue on them. Maybe chubbier shoelaces. When going into metamorphosis, where do the sneakers go? I think the sneakers also become goo. I could be wrong. Little gooey sneakers. That's a great question. They didn't teach us about this in school. Where do the sneakers go? You have to ask British school children where the sneakers go when the caterpillar cakes metamorphosize. Kind of want to change this so it's like impacting just the top part of the shoe, like they slapped it, like a real high five. Bend this a little bit, like warp it. There we go. Alright, this shoe is like way high up on the body. Let me lower both feet. Because I was thinking about how this one connects to the body, but I was not thinking about the other one. There's a little arm here. There's a little arm here. I think I can hide Colin for right now. Get a little clarity. I have one of the shoes sticking off out here. I want to make sure the sneakers are all roughly the same shape, or size rather. It's so cute that they have shoes. That's my favorite thing about the caterpillar cakes, I think, is the shoes. Who decided the caterpillar cakes needed sneakers? They could have just put little stumps on them or left them legless. I don't think anybody would have minded. But somebody, some absolute hero was like, you know what caterpillars need? White sneakers. Because they're absolutely right. We'll move Cecily away a little bit so she has room for her arms, her little leggies, whatever, to high five. There's one leggy. I'll actually make it stick out the correct side of the body. And I'll be a cheater and copy and paste my own foot from the other side of the image. But it's not cheating if it's your own art, remember that. It's just a shortcut to what you wanted to do anyway, and I'm going to change the angle a little bit and redraw it in the final line art so it won't be identical. But it just saves a little time. It's a design trope used with cartoon caterpillars. I've seen it before with different caterpillar characters and toys. Oh, the shoes. It's so cute. I want to credit the hero who came up with giving caterpillars shoes. It's so cute. They should be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I think. They've done a lot of good humanitarian work by doing caterpillars with shoes. Let's do these two shoes like high-fiving each other or like clasping your hands together with joy, but it's just stumpy little legs with shoes. These are really messy shoes. That's okay. I think it'll be better when I do the outlines. Think is the key word here. We'll do a section right underneath these arms, one right above these, one kind of under, and then one right before the last legs. We'll do 2 stripes of chocolate on each section for her, and then a bunch of flower sprinkles. These are rough placeholders for what will look like real flower sprinkles. I don't want to put too many on the middle part because that's the underside, so you wouldn't really see the flower sprinkles there, but just a few on like the back side here. And the edges I think is cute because they would kind of fall over. Maybe one down here. It's like fell over the edge of the cake. I think that's cool. And then their faces are the same, but I don't want them to have identical facial expressions. Maybe her mouth is wide open and like, yeah. And I'll give her like big, cute eyes with eyelashes appropriately placed on the outside of the eye, on the eyelash, and not inside the whites of the eyes, like the cake. We'll give her big, cute, sparkly eyes. It's a really bad sketch, but just want to show that I want her mouth wide open, nice wide open happy eyebrows. We'll simplify her face shape but make it chunky. So I like her little chubby cheeks and stuff, but I think there's too many. It's like a curve and then a curve and then a... Oh, actually, kind of I liked that as a face mask, but it would have to be just slightly lighter color than the white chocolate color of the rest of her head. And we'll do something funky with her antenna. We'll make them both come forward just to make her a little bit different from Cecil. Because I'll have his more like they are on the actual cake, where they're like side by side. Maybe move this in a little bit, like here. Like so. And Google is no help. I'm trying to find what the first instance of caterpillars wearing shoes was used, but I can't find an original source. Cute caterpillars, thank you. Alright, there's Cecily, and then Cecil. Let's do his body first. 1, 2... I gotta do those shoes in the middle. We'll have his just like chilling. He's just chill. Chill Cecil. There we go. Did I see the new Michael Jackson movie? I have not seen it. I have not been to the movie theater in a hot minute. I'm trying to think. What was the last thing I saw? Oh, Avatar. But I only went to go see that because of the 4D theater seats, which were funny. No, I think I saw Wicked Part 2. Did that come out either before or after Avatar? I saw both of those because they were at the 4D theater, where the seats shake and stuff like that. Neither, I would say, is a movie I'm eager to revisit anytime soon, because I went for the silly 4D seat experience of it all. But, I mean, I had a good time at the movies with them. The last movie I saw that was not a 4D theater movie was the Robbie Williams Better Man movie. A movie about a fake... He's a real pop star in the UK, but as we've established, the UK isn't a real place, so he's not a real pop star. But apparently in this mythical land of the United Kingdom, he is huge or was huge. And so he warranted having a biographical picture made about him, where he is a CGI ape. And it actually works. You forget he's an ape about like 20 minutes of the way into the movie, and the movie makes you care about Robbie Williams, even if his music is not very good. And it's not. But the movie does make you care about him as a man. Like, you can't hate the guy. He's funny and self-aware. I just don't like his music, but that's okay. He's a chill guy. And everybody in the UK will sing Angels at karaoke. I've learned that. Which us Americans only know And only the older millennials will know that Jessica Simpson did a cover of that song. And that's how we would know it. But it was originally a Robbie Williams song. I had a friend who thought that it was a Jessica Simpson original when I was talking to her about the Better Man movie. Like, no way, I thought that was her song. Nope. That's how little Americans know about Robbie Williams. Right. We'll do an antenna here. And an antenna here. Biopics of any celebrity should be a series instead. Legendary people such as MJ have done way too much for their lives being condensed to 2 movies. Oh, it's a 2-parter? Still, yeah, like you said, it's a whole lifetime of stories to talk about. It's hard to condense an entire lifetime or an entire even a short-lived music career to condense it to 2 hours. It's very difficult. I don't think you could do it about very many people. Especially not somebody legendary like that. Alright, these feet are about on the same level. Cecily's a little bit bigger than Cecil, but that's okay. A lot of females of animal species are larger than the male, and that's fine. Okay, I think that works. We can delete the rough pose and then just have the kind of rough pose and then make it the line art pose that's less rough. Let me move these boxes over so I can actually post to social media tonight the work in progress of these caterpillar cakes because I think they're coming along well, even though I need to do the color still on them. I think they're coming along really well. I think they're very cute. Next movie you're seeing is Backrooms, which I'm excited for. That does look unsettling. Let me know if it's any good. I was just talking to somebody about horror movies the other day and how most of them are not very good. I'll sit and watch a horror movie any day. It doesn't bother me, but a lot of them are not good, so fingers crossed. People keep saying Hokum's really good. Is that the new one that's out? That's like really scary, like peeking through your eyes at the screen scary, which I've only done one time, and I think I've said before, the only movie that's ever actually scared me, got under my skin, was Inland Empire, where I was genuinely looking at the TV through my hands shaking like this at the jump scare, which if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, don't look up the jump scare, because without the hours of build up to it, it's not nearly as scary. But I was shaking like a leaf. That's the only movie that's ever done that to me, ever. Not much scares me in the way of movies. I might go, ugh, if there's a jump scare, and that's about as big of a reaction as you get out of me. But I'm not gonna get nightmares or anything, you know. But Inland Empire, scary. And it's not even a horror movie. David Lynch was good at that, at scaring the pants off of you in movies that technically were not horror. R.I.P. You don't typically watch horror movies, mainly because you're a wimp, but you do like horror movies based on things that you like, such as Five Nights at Freddy's, and then of course Backrooms, but I did like Megan as well. That was campy and fun. I did see that in theaters. I can't even remember with who at this point, but it was silly, cheesy fun. It was a fun premise for a horror movie. There's people that are like horror aficionados, but even they acknowledge that like most horror movies are not very good. But they're in it for the badness of it, like the so bad it's good, or the campiness, the cheesy over the top special effects or whatever. So they like it anyway. You don't watch horror movies, you were never really interested? It's always stuff in other movies that's not scary that... Or movies that aren't explicitly horror, I should say, that freak me out. You know what freaked me out as a kid was, it's not a horror movie at all, but The Abyss, James Cameron, where they have that, and I think it's a real thing in real life, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have that fluid that they demonstrate on the rat or whatever, that you dip the rat in the fluid and it can breathe like it's oxygen, but it's a gel-like, water-like substance that they put in the helmets so that the explorers, they can breathe pressurized air that's like goo. Anyway, the idea of breathing in a liquid made my chest tighten up. Like, I can't even think about it. Like, it makes me claustrophobic. No thank you. And that's not a horror movie, and it's meant to be like a cool thing in the movie, and it is, but it's also scary. It's a good movie, though. It makes my chest tighten up thinking about it. No thank you. Megan was super fun. You really enjoyed Megan 2, but unfortunately it flopped due to the genre change horror to action. Why would they do that? The whole point of it was that it was a campy horror movie. Did they do like a rip-off John Wick thing, or like what were they going for? I'm not an action movie enjoyer really, so that's a bummer. There are a lot of old kids movies that have one scene that was even scarier. Yeah, I was scared of that episode of Ghost Rider with the purple guy. Ghost Rider! A Canadian kids show that they'd show on PBS or whatever in America. Not a very good show, but they had that purple guy, and it was supposed to be scary for kids, but it was like really scary. It was supposed to be like, ooh, look at this spooky toy. But something about, and you know what it was? It wasn't even the toy, because the toy itself was scary. It had all these wrinkles, and it's like gross looking, and it says like, I'm burning mad, I'm steaming mad. It sounds angry. It's scary. But what really got me wasn't the toy. It was the frame rate of the goo that would drip on the side of the screen whenever the character was like lurking or whatever. They had like purple goo drip on the top of the screen, and it was at a slightly higher frame rate than the show or something, and it gave the show this whole like behind the scenes footage soap opera effect, like when the motion smoothing isn't turned off on like the display TVs at the store. A long-winded way to say that something about the frame rate made it look like real footage. In my kid brain, I thought this is home video footage, kind of like in Signs, where it's like a birthday party and you see the alien walking in the birthday footage. That feels real. That's why it's so upsetting. Anyway, so that's the thing that upset me about the Ghost Rider thing. It wasn't even the toy itself. It was how it felt like a real, like the Blair Witch Project for kids. It felt real. He was really gonna get you. In Megan 2.0, the blueprints for Megan got stolen to create a new robot named Amelia to be used as a weapon, and she became evil, and so Megan had no choice but to become good to help fight her. Yeah, it kind of lost the heart of the whole like cheesy horror thing, didn't it? Then it's just a completely different movie at that point. A weird directorial choice. But I'm sure it has its fans. It is a bummer that it lost what made the first one cheesy fun, though. I'm trying to think of other like stuff that was in kids' movies or TV shows or whatever that really spooked me, but was not necessarily intended to be that spooky. Like, yeah, of course Goosebumps spooked you, because it was meant to, you know? And same with like the Ghost Rider toy. It's like it's meant to be freaky, but it was too real. It's way too real for me. My least favorite, or I guess the most effective Goosebumps story for me was the one with like the clock, where the kid's aging backwards, and like where you aged backwards to where you're a baby and you can't even communicate what's happening to anybody, not like they believe you anyway. That freaked me out. Did not like that one. Upsetting. There are kills in it. Yeah, it wasn't horror at all, but I thought it was really good. Megan was still funny and similar to how she was in the first film, minus the evil part. At least they kept like the soul of the character intact for the sequel. Still interesting. I wonder why they changed it so much. I guess they just felt like they didn't have strong enough ideas to keep it a horror movie, or I don't know. Interesting. Still trying to think of other kids stuff. Like, it's all the same stuff that creeped everybody else out as a #90s kid. Yeah, the eel in Mario, or the piano in Mario 64. Like, yeah, everybody thought that was spooky. Trying to think of the less obvious stuff. I was never one of those kids that was freaked out by like logos. on TV. Like, that's a thing where, like, the credits of cartoons or whatever, they'll get a bunch of YouTube comments where it's like, this used to freak me out so much as a kid. I was never like that. Like, that never bugged me. But I think that's funny that people were spooked by it. Because I like watching them as an adult now and going like, yeah, it's just like the logo for the TV station. Like, what are you so freaked out about? Imagine the only reason they made Megan was a robot was because they couldn't have a kid committing horrific acts. That's great. I mean, it's a clever way to work around it, right? Probably similar. Well, I mean, it was kind of an homage to, like, what, like Chucky and stuff like that, too. Everybody loves, like, the cute toy that's actually creepy. It's a good trope. They felt Megan was popular enough to be able to use her in other contexts beyond just horror. Unfortunately, most people disagreed, which I'm sad about because now the franchise is dead. It'll probably get rebooted in like 10 years or something. Somebody will think of something cool to do with it. Time and time again, we see stuff get rebooted from like the 80s that you think nobody cares about. Like Trolls? Like, who cares about the Trolls toys? But now they have all these hit movies, so... definitely different than Megan, but like... have faith. Somebody will readapt her and use her again. It's a fun character. Somebody will find something interesting to do with her. Or a ripoff of her that spiritually feels like a Megan movie, you know? I have faith it will happen. They wanted her to be kind of like her own celebrity in her own right then. So I think maybe they got a little ambitious with their vision for Megan. I see what they mean, though, because, like, if she becomes, like, a classic, like, Halloween character, where she's, like, a household name or whatever, you could do other things with her and get away with it. I get what they were going for, but maybe a bit ambitious. Maybe. They had a spin-off coming called Soulmate, and it was planned to be rated R in total horror. It was finished and ready to release, but it got canceled. Oof. That's rough. I hope the script is still kicking around somewhere and they, it was finished? That's gotta be in a vault somewhere. They gotta just release that to the public somehow. Somebody's got it on a hard drive somewhere and just needs to leak it. People will watch it. I never understood completely scrapping a movie when it was already done. Like, at that point, you've already spent the money. Why not try to get some of that cost back? Like, maybe you're not going to profit, but you're going to get a lot closer to breaking even than if you just shelve it. Seems like a waste to me. You can at least make a few sales. Like with that that Acme Looney Tunes movie or whatever everybody was talking about on Twitter for a while, which I still haven't seen. I don't know if it leaked or what. But they had like this whole finished movie and they just decided to not release it. The creepiness of Mario 64 all has to do with the graphical limitations and limitable spaces and the lame internet rumors people come up with about the game. Yeah, like every game is personalized and all the creepypasta stuff. I don't like any of that. The sound effect of the piano of actually chomping down and how empty the levels feel because of, like you said, the technical limitations is like 90% of what makes it unsettling. But that's still probably my favorite video game of all time, which is a very basic answer, but it was my first video game. And it's one of the best still. Like, I still will watch a Mario 64 speedrun to this day. Trolls just needed a rebranding to make them relevant to kids today. I guess they weren't cool enough to keep around back in the day. Yeah, they were not cool. I never thought they were cool as toys. I'm sure I had a couple kicking around in my toy box, but I wasn't excited about them. They were like, you know, you get the candy on Halloween that's like the okay candy, where it's not like bottom tier trash candy like the Mary Janes, the peanut butter ones. I think my dad likes those. Somebody likes those. The like black and orange peanut butter thing, horrible. Or the strawberry wrapper ones. It's not quite that bad, but it's like Smarties. It's like you'll eat them, but you know, like you're not excited about it. Like you'll play with a troll doll, but you're not like thrilled about it. Like, okay, I guess the troll can hang out with my Beanie Babies today. It's fine. but most of the time they're going to be rotting in a toy box. They did a really good job with the rebrand. They're like actually cute and fun now. I have a very silly story to do with trolls. I knew somebody that designed the Trolls World Tour posters, or was throwing out a bunch of ideas for the movie posters, and I gave this person an idea. I was like, wouldn't it be cute if they did like the Rock On hands, but it's like a troll's hand, like a minimal poster where it's like Rock On, but it's like just the troll hand. And so that idea from my mouth to this person was presented, and they approved it. So every time I drive, well, when I lived in LA, we'd pass by the billboards and they had the Trolls Rock On hand for Trolls World Tour. I'm like, that was me. That was me. But I guess technically, well, that person doesn't work for the company who does the movie posters anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter. But technically I shouldn't have known about the project. Oops. But I'm not giving enough details, and that person doesn't work there anymore anyway. But anyway, the Trolls World Tour posters with the Rock On hands, that was me, baby. I'm a marketing genius. I just thought it was cool. Let's do these white chocolate stripes. Oh, he had like 3 per section. I think that's what we ended up doing. Yeah, he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, and then we'll do like 3 stripes of chocolate in those. You know what he heard was a weird movie from the 80s, Labyrinth. That's a great movie. I didn't like it as a kid because it, like, I don't know, I didn't like the atmosphere of it when I was a young kid. I was like, this is kind of like bleak and dark, and I didn't get the vibe. I didn't get the vibe as a kid. But as an adult now, I'm like, oh, this is actually a masterpiece. What was I thinking? So it took me a while to like warm up to it. Something about like, I don't know, I didn't like the color scheme of it as a kid. It felt very gloomy, the texture of the puppets, like I wasn't about it as a kid. But now I recognize it. And Dark Crystal too. It's like, oh, these are great movies. Because I would say it's a great movie now, but there's like people I grew up with who'd be like, you always said you didn't like that movie. Like, well, you know, people change. Opinions change, okay? I'm not going to be married to the same opinions I had when I was 14, you know? As if this is a well-known thing about me, my opinion on the movie Labyrinth. In my mind, it's well-known because it's my mind. Imagine if there's a Cabbage Patch Kids reboot. Can you make those things cute? I guess if you did like a Rugrats style show, maybe, I don't know. The plot of Soulmate was this guy who's mourning his dead wife, buys a robot to cope with the loss, trying to make her as sentient as he can. He becomes the deadly soulmate. Ooh, spooky. Like re-uploading the consciousness into the robot kind of thing. That's spooky. Okay, I think... Did I want to do sections on her too? I guess I should. There's one right above these legs. 3. I guess I can correct this one. It's time to color anyway, but... Yeah, there we go. That's about right. Alright, so Cecil and Cecily. Cecil, we're not going to worry about his line art in the box not being done, because these are all work in progress waiting to be colored anyway. Which, speaking of, I think we should move on to color for wee Slinky. My main man Slinky. So let me go pull up a reference of Slinky. Let's move. Let's get rid of Cecil and Cecily. Say goodbye to Cecil. Everyone, goodbye, Cecily. And then let's find wee Slinky. Slinky Tesco. I think I had a folder actually on my desktop of all the cake. Yeah, a folder just called cakes. So I'm going to move all the Cecil and Cecily screenshots into the cakes folder. Then open image. Now my room's too hot. What is with the temperature in here today? Okay. Where's Slinky? Where's the better picture, Slinky? Oh, I need the box too. Slinky. This'll do. This'll do for the colors. Maybe I'll have two pictures up. This is the box, the green. And then browse. Where's him out of the box? There we go, with his little shoes. What a guy. Look how cute. I just love Sims. Now to pull these pictures up on my end. Bigger, so I can actually see. And pull up this one. There we go. Let's see, hopefully another company picks up the movie so it can be released. You were excited for it. They had a trailer at the event before it was canceled, and now we won't see it for a long time. It's really a bummer that they finished it and just won't release it. That's really lame. Okay. Colors. Let's just get some rough colors in. Just plop them on in here. I don't know if I want to do I want to do lineless with the caterpillars? I think maybe. Yeah, because then I can add like shine to them, make them look, I don't know, cakey. Definitely lineless for the boxes. I think that'll be really cute. This is just me figuring out the color scheme. Want red for the nose. Maybe a little bit darker and a little bit more purple than that. There we go. We'll do his tongue the same color as his nose here. Whites in the eyes. Maybe, you know what I'll do is no, that'll be a pain. We're just gonna focus on Slinky. I was like, let me do the rough color pass of everybody and then like assembly line it, you know? But that's a pain because I want to get the pictures up on screen so you guys have a reference for what I'm looking at. So we'll do one at a time. Let's do like a more milky chocolate color. Like so. For the actual cake. I wonder if I'll use the same like chocolate and white chocolate colors across multiple cakes or if I'll do slightly different. Like maybe Cecily's white chocolate will be a little more purpley or bluey in the shadows. Another one like Colin's might be more pink or orange. You know? I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then the sprinkles are all sorts of colors. We'll do a new layer for those. We'll do, gotta be a little darker. Some bright green. We'll do some like reddish pink in here. Kind of a whole assortment of colors, really. We'll do, there's like regular pink. We'll do a couple of them. There's yellow, like a golden yellow. And then like a light grayish blue. We'll make it a little bit brighter than it actually is. It's almost like the white of the sprinkles. And I think those colors are okay. And I'm going to use, like, I'm going to take this layer, not just that, but this layer, I'm going to copy and paste it and use that as my color palette for the flat colors, which I'll start doing in a bit. I started doing the process like this on a kid's book I'm working on, where I lay out all the colors first and then do the flats and then color it in, and it's really easy. Like, it's nice to just eyedropper from the colors you figured out already. The box should be like this green. Maybe it'll be a little bit darker than that. Whoa. Yeah, it's gotta be a little bit darker and more yellow. Like this. Like this. And then I see your message. I'll read. I see in the corner of my eye there's a new message. But I got in the zone, the caterpillar zone. Whoa, that is not the color I wanted. That is an eraser. It is not putting down color at all. We'll do yellow. I guess it's like a light green. Light green, but I want to make it a little bit warmer, so we'll make it slightly yellow. That's the color of the lines. And then the sprinkles are hot pink and white and yellow. So we'll do a couple of them. White for this part, maybe we'll do one of these yellow, this one yellow, this one yellow, this one yellow. And then the butterflies are yellow, and on them they have white stripes for white chocolate, and their bodies are hot pink. So I'll just put a little strip of hot pink right there. Let's see. Megan Everett has come back for a third film. I hope they don't reverse the second movie and make her evil again. I like how they made her good. I feel a horror plot could still work. Yeah, you could have like a bug or I don't know, that's maybe too obvious of a way to corrupt her, but you could make her be evil without losing her new character or whatever. There could be a way. Let's see. Here's a challenging question. Which horror game fandom is more horrific than the actual game series? So the answer to that is the FNAF fandom. Perhaps. I don't know too much about the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. I think the designs of the characters and the fan art that people do of them are cool. And I've seen people play some of the games, so I know, like, the deal. I know the gist of Five Nights at Freddy's. But I've never deep dived into the fandom. But I'm assuming there is, like, hardcore as, like, there's a big fandom for animatronics, especially, like, the Chuck E. Cheese animatronics. So I imagine there's a big overlap. And there's a lot of passion, which is good. People are very passionate about things. That's good. But perhaps too passionate. Getting into heated arguments over, I don't know, little stylistic changes between the different eras of animatronics or whatever. I feel like I've seen that kind of drama on Facebook when I was in the process of making and never finished a mascot video about Chuck E. Cheese. I was like, there's a lot of really hardcore, like, Chuck E. Cheese animatronic Rock-a-Fire Pizza or whatever it was called. There's a lot of, like, it was like Showbiz Pizza, the Rock-a-Fire Rockers or whatever the animatronic band was called, and then the Chuck E. Cheese band have, like, their own ride or die fans, and they're really intense about it. So I imagine FNAF is, like, similar or has overlap with those people. Listen, I was making YouTube videos about mascots. I get the interest, but it was hardcore. Let's see. It's going to be the answer. The other guess is going to be Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic isn't horror. Yeah, the fandom is probably a little crazy, but not a horror franchise. Let me think what horror fans are, like, obnoxious or horrific. I don't know. Are Saw fans problematic? I'm thinking of, like, long-lasting, like, horror franchises. Like, I don't know. I mean, what's problematic is they keep going to see the same movie over and over. But I did go see, what was it, Saw X or Saw 10 or whatever. I did see that one in theaters. But I hadn't seen, like, the 4 or 5 made before that. I think I was just like, well, there's nothing else in theaters and it is close to Halloween, you know, whatever. I remember I thought some of it was pretty fun, but I guess fun's the wrong word, but like entertaining. they keep making the same movie over and over. It's like they tried to mix up the plots with different things happening, but at the end of the day, it's like people just want to see the traps. They just got to do like a Mario Party minigame version of Saw where it's just like a montage of a bunch of trap ideas. Because let's be real, nobody cares about why the traps are put in place. The reasoning is always very silly. They just want to see what happens with the traps. I wish everyone would just be honest. You know? Just cut to the chase. Thinking of fandoms that are worse than the actual series or franchise. I think that's most fandoms, actually, if we're not just talking horror. Because fandoms will start beef about literally anything. It doesn't matter how benign or kid-friendly or G-rated or whatever the thing is. There's always people fighting about it online. Taking away the fun of it. Okay, so here's the rough color scheme for Slinky. Merge down. Let's duplicate so we have this as our very messy reference for our color. He looks spooky without his eyes. Here's a horror franchise for you. Here, I'll add eyes so he doesn't look as scary. There. He's cute now. And then we'll start doing the flat colors on Slinky. The box I might finish another day because there's going to be all these details I want to do, but we'll see. Let's see how much progress I can make in a half hour. The Steven Universe fandom's crazy. Yeah, I remember all the drama with them on Tumblr back in my day. Back in my day. It doesn't feel that long ago, but then you look at some of the discourse and it's like literally a decade old and you're like, oh my gosh. Where'd all the time go? It was wild on Twitter. Tumblr was the Wild West for that kind of stuff. But I did like the heyday of Steven Universe, admittedly, because I was making a bunch of like Galaxy-themed Steven Universe merch and throwing it on Redbubble and making several $100s a month off of it. Which is the only time in my life I've had luck with print on demand. Was like borderline copyright infringement. And then they had the fan art program where you could get your art like licensed to actually be sold with like their approval. And I got a few pieces approved, and then they must have like discontinued the program because they like told me they discontinued it. Yeah, they discontinued it and then told me they discontinued it. I guess that means it's discontinued. But then I got one of the pieces pulled, but I think a few are still up. But there were a few designs that got pulled after they terminated that program. Like, whoops. When the new show drops, whenever that is. Is there a new show? I'm a fake fan, though, because I never watched Steven Universe Future. And I hear it's good, I just didn't bother to watch it. I watched all of the OG show, and then just never started watching Future. What new show? Is this like a Lars spinoff, or... I remember vaguely hearing about that. Unless I'm completely hallucinating that. Was it like a Lars spinoff, or am I just making stuff up? I feel like I'm just making stuff up. Kept cutting the intense drama just so we could get back to the status quo of the Earth. I didn't mind like the Earth filler episodes or whatever you want to call them, and like they're fine. But I feel like none of the episodes was ever better than the episode with the Garnet reveal. That was, for me, like the best moment of the entire show. With the Stronger Than You song. Nothing in the show was ever better than that from that point on. I kept waiting for them to top it, and everything felt like anticlimactic and like not exciting compared to that. That was like the best moment on TV I had seen, like kids TV or animated TV or whatever you want to call it. I guess animated TV. I was so obsessed with that song in that episode. Lars of the Stars. Okay, I did hear it from you then. Because I'm like, okay, that sounds familiar in my brain, but where is this information coming from? I didn't have it in a vision. It was said to me by you in a previous stream. And I remembered enough of it to remember that it was a Lars spinoff. But not that I was told it in a stream. So there's where my memory loss is. Hey, I remembered something about it. I remembered it was a Lars spinoff. I just wasn't entirely sure if I made that up in my mind. Glad to know I didn't just make it up, though. I think that would make me a little more crazy than just forgetting I was told it. Thank you for reminding me. That part was amazing. It was just so good. For me, the show never got better than that episode. I kept waiting for it to, and it just didn't. Not that it was, like, bad. It just, for me, that was, like, such a high. The whole, not just the song and the reveal, but the whole episode was paced really well. Like, I don't know. That was their Breaking Bad Ozymandias level episode of the series for me. The diamonds deserve better. Yeah, I agree. It was like, this is the final boss. Like, this is the big baddie. And there were some moments of really beautiful animation because they had James Baxter, that moment where, like, Steven's hugging himself and spinning around, and, like, there's these beautiful moments in that. But, yeah, it just... We didn't give her enough screen time. I wanted to know what her deal was. I wanted her to be an actual threat. I wanted her to vanquish this, like, whole idea of, like, love can fix everything and crying about our problems can fix everything. Like, I wanted there to be a serious obstacle of, like, oh, she actually doesn't care and she is on a mission to rule the galaxy or whatever. You know, like, she's cold and she doesn't care about any of the stuff that you care about. So what are you going to do now? Like, you can't reason your way or feel your way out of this. What do you do? I thought there should have been, like, a real obstacle at the end there, but I didn't write the show, so what do I know? That's just what I wanted to see as a viewer, is to have a baddie that was actually, like, ruthless and took a while to take down, and maybe could not be taken down with the power of love and had to actually be, like, destroyed. I think that would have been an interesting dilemma for Steven to face. Watching that part with you was great. It's the whole episode. You're like, just wait. It was, God, that episode's so good. It's so good. And that episode was so good that it made rewatching the show up to that point really, really fun. Because you're looking for all the times where they tried to sneak it in that, like, Garnet and like, Garnet was Ruby and Sapphire. And you notice all the little Easter eggs leading up to that. So good. So good. They did have a villain in Future like that, choosing not to become good. Ooh. See, maybe I have to watch Future. They, like, solved all these problems in Future and I just haven't seen it. The fact that the budget on voice actors made it to the characters that people just got to know always had to fade in the background. Yeah, they should have had either recorded way more lines in the session so they could continue using these characters with the higher budget voice actors. Or have some kind of anomaly happen with the gems where, like, their voices are corrupted so they have different voices with, like, an effect on them. Or, like, there could have been a way to get around that, I think. There are always points in my story where I think a character should have been there because it fit their character arc so well. Oh, one of your characters in, in the world of Steven Universe? Or am I misinterpreting that? Alpha Lock. Okay. I think let's do a clipping mask. And let's do these white chocolate stripes. I'm trying to think of any other animated show that I liked more than that episode of Steven Universe, and I can't think of anything. That was just, like, the best thing I'd ever seen when it came out. I made my sister watch it. She's in the comments. I made everybody watch that. I'm like, no, you gotta see this. I got a couple people to watch all of Steven Universe up to that point just so they could get the satisfaction of watching that episode. It was so good. Like, the diamonds are a good case of villain redemption's gone wrong. Yeah, it was just like, there was no conflict. There's just nothing, there was no obstacle to face when it was, like, this big bad. And I think you can do something interesting with, like, the idea that you've built up this big baddie this whole time, and it's actually, they're not even that big of a threat, and they don't even think of you. And all of this was in your mind. Like, I think you can make an interesting thing out of that, too. But they didn't do that, either. It was just kind of like a non-event to meet White Diamond. It's like, well, here she is! Alright, let's wrap the show up now, folks. Like, that's how it felt on my end. I was like, well, that was that, I guess. There's White Diamond. Very anticlimactic. Malachite was also a really cool villain. The build up to the big fight between her and Alexandra, it was so good, and the fight itself was also super cool. Malachite's a really cool design. I'll say that. I don't know what my favorite fusion was, like, design-wise. I'm trying to think. I liked, shoot, where it was all three of them. What was it? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget all the names of all the fusions. Not me Googling Steven Universe fusions. It's been so long since I've seen the show. What was the one where it was like all three of them together? I liked the Rose Quartz Pearl fusion too. Rainbow Quartz was cute. Oh, Alexandrite. Yeah, that's the name. Okay. Of the one of the two you're talking, Alexandrite. I couldn't put a name to the face. Oh, I thought one of my old Redbubble designs came up on Google Images. I was like, no way. No, it didn't. Yeah, Alexandrite. I remember... I don't know why I had a clear image in my mind's eye of Malachite. I think it's the color scheme, the teal. Where I'm like, yeah, I know what Malachite looks like off the top of my head. Let's see. I'm talking about characters in the show. There's so many missed opportunities. Yeah, it's a shame, but... still one of the best cartoons ever made. Best animated series. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with it when it was in its heyday. And enjoyed it more so by not contributing to any discourse and just making fan art and minding my own business. That was how I enjoyed Steven Universe. That was a crazy time to be on Tumblr too, because I think that was also when, like, the Onceler fandom was really big. It felt like that was at the same time, unless I hallucinated that too. It was within, like, a year of each other, wasn't it? Where, like, Steven Universe was, like, 2014, 2015? Something like that? Well, no, it must have been 2012, because I was still in college, so it must have been prior to 2013, 2012. So yeah, that would have been around Onceler era, huh? A wild time to be on Tumblr. Wild time to be on Tumblr. Obsidian is super cool, but very underused. She was in the finale, but they just never used her again, except from a dream sequence in the future. It felt good seeing the temple finally be revealed as a fusion. That is cool. Shows are always having to end themselves too short. Yeah, I wish more shows had a... It's hard, though, because with the streaming model, so many shows are getting canceled after the first season that I think writers are, like, having to think of, like, if the show ends at the first season, how can I make it satisfying for viewers? So they think of that. And then when the show gets renewed, it's like, okay, well, maybe we only have one more season, so do we make sure the end of this season is satisfying? Like, you can't plan out 2-3 seasons ahead because the show is always, like, on the edge of being axed. Unless they, you know, get a contract for 3 seasons, and I guess they can do that. But, and sometimes people get burned out, like we saw Smiling Friends. They canceled even though they were renewed for another 2 or I think 3 seasons. And just decided to not do that. So, shows are always on the edge of the creators either burning out or Netflix or whoever not wanting to renew the contract, or so it's kind of hard to build a satisfying ending in not knowing where the show is headed, not knowing the show's future. The shows that do manage to stick the ending are very far and few between. I was very grateful that Breaking Bad stuck the landing, because that was one of the few shows I was watching as it was airing, like waiting for new episodes every week and getting really excited about it. And I'm like not afraid. I'm not like, ooh, shaking in my boots, but I wait for shows to finish now so I know if they stuck the landing. Because I consider myself lucky I never got into Game of Thrones, because there's people that watched all, like, how many seasons of that? Like 7-8 seasons of that, got really invested, and then the ending was terrible. Years of their life wasted getting emotionally attached to these characters. All for naught. And I guess you can just pretend the show ends earlier, but it does kind of ruin the experience when the show's ending stinks. Like, I guess it can't take away from the good moments up to that point, but... you know? Same with Dexter, I guess, is a show that famously had a terrible ending. Like, imagine waiting excitedly for every new episode every week, and then the ending of the show just completely stinks. So I was very grateful Breaking Bad actually had a good ending. And Better Call Saul as well. But I didn't watch Better Call Saul live. I waited for that to end as well to make sure that it was good. Steven Universe's ending being cut short, though, was due to Ruby and Sapphire's wedding. Rebecca Sugar fought for it, but inevitably lost the full-length story she wanted to tell due to it. It was a sacrifice that had to be made. Thankfully, though, again, we have that new show coming, so there's more to look forward to. Yeah, that is exciting. I hope they take every creative risk with it and make every idea happen that they pitch in the writer's room. So I know there's some good ideas that inevitably have to get cut, but I hope they make as many of them happen as they possibly can. Though I have been tuned out. I have been tuned out of toons. I love drawing cartoons and I love looking at cartoons, but I have not sat and watched one in so long. I feel like a fraud. All I watch is like Limmy streams and like Ann Reardon Can I Cook That videos and like Taskmaster. That's like all I'm watching. I don't watch TV or movies very much at all. I don't think I'll finish Wee Slinky today, but I'm doing my best. Let's do the shoelaces on this layer. A show always that has to act like the current season is the last season of Futurama. I know Futurama is a beloved and objectively funny and good show. Well, I guess there's no such thing as objectively funny, but most people would agree it's pretty funny. I only don't like Futurama because, and this is an overused word, but it gives the energy of like Reddit top comments to me. Like when you go to a thread and somebody's asking a serious question and the first reply and all the replies under it are a bunch of puns or like unfunny observations about the post that are incredibly obvious. That's what watching Futurama feels like to me. And I think it's because the same people that do that like use like the Fry Take My Money gif or like Bender gifs or what. Like, I don't know. That's a fandom that poisoned the source material for me. Because Futurama's good. Like, if you put an episode on, I'm not going to, like, object to it being on. But it reminds me of that so much that it does ruin my ability to, like, fully enjoy. And that's not fair of me. It's not a fair critique. It's not as, you know, cringy as the Szechuan sauce Rick and Morty stuff or whatever, but... I was trying to make a new friend on Reddit, and as soon as they sent me a message with like, it was like the suspicious Fry gif, I was like, oh, we don't have the same sense of humor. This has gotta end. That's the only thing I'm picky about with like meeting new people is like, if we don't laugh at the same stuff, it's like, it's not gonna work. I remember that was when we just didn't talk to each other. We'd only been talking for like 2 days, so it wasn't like I ghosted somebody I'd been talking to for a week. And it was just like, hey, let's chat with new people on Reddit. But I thought that was funny. It sent me that GIF. And you know what? I didn't even see the GIF. I saw the text on Discord, like on my phone, and it said like, has sent fry_squint_Futurama.gif. And I was like, ooh, I don't like that. Well, that's the end of this conversation. To me, it's like somebody sending me like a I Can Has Cheeseburger meme that I would have found hilarious when I was like 14. It's like that tier of humor to me where I'm like, I don't want this in my life. You're stressing me out. Where is the layer with the cake? Did I like... Oh, it's this. Okay. Why did I do it like this? I guess I could... I have an idea. Make this not a clipping mask, right? and actually clean it up, and then I can clipping mask this, because I need the cake to be inside of this. Though it isn't a little annoying, I have to, like, line it up with that. You have an idea for a cartoon I can watch? Hit me. I can't guarantee I'll watch it, but I will take your suggestions anyway. Why is this copy-paste menu open? Okay. You know what I didn't care for at all was, like, was it Disenchanted or Disenchantment? The other Matt Groening cartoon that's not Futurama or The Simpsons. I didn't think that was funny at all. That was on as, like, background noise at one point in my life, and I don't think I laughed one time. The most, like, funny, fun, cool part of the whole show is, like, the intro sequence. So you think it's gonna match that tone. Like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be, like, riffing on, like, medieval movie and TV show tropes and whatever, and it just wasn't that at all. And was not funny, which is the highest crime of a show that's supposed to be funny, is that it's just not funny. Was not into that. One Piece? I'm not an anime fan, so I don't think that's for me. Especially not one that's like 1,000 episodes long. The one anime series I did watch that I liked was, I can't even remember what it's called. Satoshi Kon, who directed, Paprika. What was it called? Oh my gosh. What was the one anime that I saw? And I can't even remember what it's called. Satoshi Kon. And I like Studio Ghibli movies and stuff, but yeah, I like Satoshi Kon stuff. Perfect Blue, Paprika, Paranoia Agent. That was an anime series by Satoshi Kon, and I like that. But that's beginning and end of list for anime for me. Just not my thing. Do Alpha Lock. Let's do Clipping Mask. My parents love the live action version of One Piece, but I can't get into either versions. It's just not for me, and that's okay. But I know people do love it. People love One Piece. People love, what's that other one that people are always going on about? The animes. I don't know, I'm out of the loop on animes. I think the last one I watched was probably Paranoia Agent. I tried watching, what was the one with, like, the cute little witch girls? I thought that was, like, cute, like, the art style, and that's cute. I don't think it kept my attention story-wise, but I liked it. It was, like, these cute little witch girls at, like, a witch school or whatever, and it was on Netflix for a while. I think it was called, like, Witch Academia. Or, like, My Little Witch Academia. I thought that was cute. I don't remember anything that happens in it, really, but the art style was cute. Or the creator of Futurama and Disenchantment is on the list. I wasn't into it. I didn't find it funny. It might tickle somebody else's funny bone. Humor is very particular and subjective, but it was not for me. We'll do one more clipping mask there. Let's do orange for his face. I don't think I'm gonna finish Slinky today, but I'm making some pretty good progress. I think. Another clipping mask. Here we go. What do you think about the Amazing Digital Circus? It looks cool. I just have not seen it. I have no opinion on it other than the art style of it. Looks neat. And I've seen some really good fan art of it on Twitter, but I could not tell you a single character's name in a lineup. Don't know nothing about the show. It looks cool. Is that another fandom that's becoming, like, obsessive, or are they just passionate There's like a line where it's like the fans are really excited about this, and then it veers into like Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce cringe, you know. That of course is no indication of the quality of the source material. Like, I enjoyed Undertale a lot, but I know the fans were crazy. But it doesn't make me like the game any less. I love Undertale. I never did get, I played the first installment of Deltarune, and I know they're good. It's like with Steven Universe Future, like I know it's good and I'd like it, I just haven't done it. I don't know what's wrong with me, just haven't done it. Like, you should play Deltarune. I don't even know what chapter Deltarune they're on. Is it 3 now? Is it like 3 parts? I don't know. Tuned out. They're bringing the finale to theaters. I didn't know that. That's cool. Both obsessive and passionate. I guess that's a good thing. You don't want, like, a fandom that's too chill and then they're not excited about anything and then therefore nothing ever gets released. You know, you do want a passionate fandom. But the art style, or the style of it and the fan art I've seen look really cool. I feel like a fraud though, because all I do is like draw cartoons all the time, and I'm so out of the loop on like what's new and cool and happening in like the animated show world when I used to keep up with it. But it's alright. I still enjoy drawing cute cartoons even if I don't watch them. I feel like a phony. I guess that happens when you're like closer to 40 than 32, where you're like, listen, I don't know if I want to sit and watch a cartoon. There's no age limit on watching cartoons, but I spiritually am at the age where I'm like, I'm gonna put on Taskmaster and get under my heated blanket and like, you know, that's what I'm feeling on the other side of 30, or almost there. Deltarune is on chapter 4 right now. Chapter 5 comes out sometime this year. I know it's good. I know I'm gonna like it. I know I would love Deltarune, and I should just play it, but I never watched it. I just knew it wasn't to my taste. I just knew it had a certain vibe about it. Yeah, some things you just look at it and you're like, I get why people like this, but it's just not for me. That's me with a lot of things anymore. I can't find it in my heart to be a hater about things I don't know anything about. Now, if I know something about something and I've actually tried watching it and I hate it, I will be a vocal hater. But if it's something I just don't have interest in, it's like, I just don't have interest in it. Like, for me, I'm a huge hater of Ted Lasso. I hate Ted Lasso. I hate comedy series that are, like, wholesome, because I don't think it's funny. Like, live action comedy. It's not funny. I hate the overly positive dialogue in it, and it's so cheesy, and I'm like, nobody talks like this. Nobody thinks like this. It's like a Hallmark card came to life and made a sitcom, and it's just not funny. I've been told it's funnier if you know, like, the in-jokes about, like, references to, like, different footballers and stuff. But I don't know that because I don't watch sports, so, like, I'm getting nothing out of it. I was subjected to Ted Lasso at one point in my life, and it was a horrible experience. But I come from a place of having, like, sat and watched several episodes, so I'm an informed hater. I'm not going to be an uninformed hater. You can't justify that. You gotta get going. It was nice talking. Yeah, I'm going to get going in a little bit anyway. You're not going to miss much. It's almost 8:30 here, so. Actually, this might be a good stopping point. Anyway, let me... The box needs the most work because I need to do like the side part as its own layer, the front, and then like the details as clipping masks. So that'll take a bit longer. But let me raise the opacity of the actual beast here. And then at least get his face orange and the nose red and like get some of this right before I sign off. But we will return to make more progress on these caterpillar cakes next week. Do some reviews on cartoons so you have an excuse to watch them. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I have a lot of ideas for getting back into actually being good at YouTube. I don't know if I'll follow through on any of them. I've been saying I'm going to stream more for the last like year and a half to 2 years, and it hasn't happened yet, so I gotta stop announcing stuff because then it doesn't happen. I'm just going to start doing stuff one day, you know what I mean? Or I won't, but then at least I won't be embarrassed about my track record of saying I'm going to do stuff for like 2 years and then not following through ever. Alright, well I got orange and red in there. Let's get the body at least, like, cake color. Let's get some chocolate in there. Then I gotta do the sprinkles on a new layer too. But at least the caterpillar himself is coming along. So we're making some progress. The box looks terrifying. It looks like it's like a... What's that Nintendo thing? The game... Not Game Boy. The red thing. Whatever. My brain left. But you know what I'm talking about? Where everything is like red and black? That's what he looks like. So what progress did we make today, folks? We did some progress on Wee Slinky here, coloring, and then also drew Cecil and Cecily, both as their box cake cannon form and then as characters. And let me hide actually this layer so the line art's a bit clearer. So I think that's pretty good progress for one night. You do a cartoon review instead of next week's stream. I'm not going to watch a cartoon in the next week. I got work to do. I'm going to do work as soon as I get off the stream and get something to eat. That's what I'm doing. But I think for a couple hours of chilling and drawing, I think this is pretty good progress. I'm really happy with how the cakes are coming out so far. I'm excited to get them all colored and like maybe do a print with the boxes lined up and like do prints of like the caterpillar characters, maybe one of them all together in a little field or something. I don't know. But I'll piece it together in the next stream or two. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I will see you all next week.